Go hard or go home. Go home. Go hard. Go hard or go home. Go hard. Go hard or go home. Go home. Go hard. Go hard or go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard. Go hard or go home. Go hard. Go or go home. Yeah, these are championship rings on my hands now. In my head I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. Go home. Go hard, or go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It is Thugnificent. If you know me at home, it's Dwayne. We are live for this 2021 live mock draft. We are doing just the first round. In here we have shots from Brooklyn Nets Gaming. Hopefully we get you guys some good takes. Definitely appreciate you guys joining in with us today. We also have here Mr. Stevie Bop, Gabe, aka Stevie Bop, Mr. our resident Falcons fan, and Mr. Pickle Tickle down below, Hardhead. And our resident Giants fan and pain in the ass, Jalen, aka Bashes. Fellas, I hope to have everything knocked out and be done by 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. This isn't an all-day event. We just knock it out, try to get through, give you about 3 minutes to speak on why you made the pick, and then give people time to give feedback on the pick. Okay? So to open up this draft, we will have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think this is probably the easiest pick of this draft. So for the first round pick in the 2021 NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence from the University of Clemson. Now, I mean, everything makes sense. He has all the intangibles. We've seen it for the last 3 years. The guy's got it. You know, it showed last year without him starting. When Clemson played Notre Dame, the offense struggled. It absolutely struggled. Then they turn around and play Clemson and Notre Dame again with Trevor Lawrence, and they absolutely smoked them. So he is a huge difference. He is an absolute playmaker. Urban Meyer wins wherever he goes, and I'm pretty sure he's going to turn Trevor Lawrence into a winner as well. I mean, you just can't beat it. He has it. He can read the field. He has the arm strength. And he's actually pretty mobile too for somebody like him. He's pretty mobile. He can get it done. Fellas, what do you guys think about that?
Not much. Easiest pick. I mean, he's like minus 100,000 in Vegas, I think. So it's a lock.
Yeah.
He's probably signed his
easiest
contract
pick in the draft by far.
And we do have physical proof of Hardhead calling him a bust, so that's on record too. So I just want to let that be known.
That is true. I do remember that. He definitely said that. So I definitely remember that pick. Now,
so me and Jalen are holding to that.
Coming up and with the second overall pick, we have the New York Jets. This is one team that always finds a way to kind of, quote unquote, just throw up all over themselves. But I think they get it right. I think they've done a good job with their coaching and bringing in, and even with some of their offseason acquisitions. Now they've traded Sam Darnold, so obviously this is a lock to take a quarterback. And with the second overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, we have Zach Wilson from BYU. Now, I'm kind of torn when it comes to Zach Wilson. If to some people they'll say the competition. I don't think that's going to be too much of a factor. I think his ego is going to be more so the factor. But again, there's a quarterback from Wyoming that came in with the same ego, and he's balling out in Buffalo right now. So maybe or maybe not that could tie into it, but we shall find out. but overall, he's
Yeah, you
shown
gotta
that
add
he does have
Hardhead.
he shows that he does have the intangibles to succeed. Hardhead, man, you
But
man, I
nah, yeah,
can't.
Zach Wilson,
I,
he's
I
free
thought I
pick.
was drafted for the Jets.
Are you on the Jets?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
what were you gonna
apologize.
pick?
Go
You were
ahead.
gonna pick him. I mean,
I'm sorry. You're right. You are the Jets. Go ahead. Was that your pick?
it better be. Are you kidding me? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I might not necessarily agree with it because I have an opinion about Fields, but it would probably, it would be the pick.
You
Yeah,
think
exactly.
Fields is the second best?
I do think
Okay.
Fields is the second best, to be honest. But
Yeah.
look, maybe they see it from a different perspective than I
That's
see
not
it
a
from.
horrible take. So.
I think
It's
Fields is
not.
the second best, but Wilson, I do understand the infatuation with, that's just the way the NFL is moving, right? We are trying to look for that guy that has the cannon arm that can throw off platform, that's mobile, that has creativity. Everybody's looking for the next Patrick Mahomes. That's the it thing. That's the in thing right now in the NFL. And you look at Wilson, and his last season, the season before last, not super duper impressive, but also not as bad as it might be thought of as. Right? He had some injury problems last year. It was impressive, right? The competition wasn't great, but how much better can you realistically
The
do with the
competition
competition?
thing. That's kind of proven to be like not
Yeah,
a
it's
big deal. Like,
and
if
at
he
the end
could
of the
play, he
day,
could play.
he played against the competition he was given, and he dominated, like literally dominated,
Yeah.
like legitimately was looking like he was playing like Pop Warner. So that's what you would expect him to do, and you can't really deny the arm talent. It does pop. It is very Patrick Mahomes-esque. His ability to throw off platform is fairly unparalleled, I'd say. So I mean, I expect whoever goes to the Jets to do well. I'm a pretty big believer in Saleh and his staff he's put together, so I think it's a great pick, even if I think Fields is the better player.
Absolutely, absolutely. You definitely can't go wrong. I don't think. I do believe in Salah as a coach. Players speak highly of him,
Yeah.
and that's important. And you can't underestimate that. When players really love a coach, they tend to play hard for that coach. So I definitely hope to see to see that Zach Wilson succeeds under Salah and with the Jets and hopefully can turn that franchise around, because they struggled for years to find a quarterback. If you even take it back to the Mark Sanchez days, if they had just a tad bit better quarterback, that's the Super Bowl team. And so hopefully he can solve those woes at quarterback. Now, I do have this one right. I pick number 3. Okay.
Yeah.
And since I have 2 screens, I'm going to use them properly. So, with the third pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, I was torn. I was really torn between these two, but the comments led to me to pick this particular player. When the head coach comes out and says, "Myself and John Lynch really are not taking effect with anything what the fans want. We'd be crazy to do that. We're going to pick who that we think is the best guy for us." I think it locked in Mac Jones at number 3. So number 3 overall in the NFL draft, we're going to go with Mac Jones. Polo with HCE game and saying Trey Lance. Nah, it's not going to be the pick. I'm not a Mac Jones fan. I am very staunch with that. I do not think he's going to be that great in the league. If any coach can make him good, though, it's Kyle Shanahan. What you're looking at with Mac Jones in the history of Alabama, you people say you can't look back at the history of a school you never know, but you haven't seen it. You haven't seen it since Joe Namath. That's the last big quarterback to actually come out and succeed from Alabama. Nobody from Alabama. If I look back correctly, since 2015, they haven't given up more than 19 sacks in a season. I mean, they have all day to throw. I mean, if you can't succeed behind that offensive line, there's a problem. So they have the average time to throw is much greater than the average college quarterback. So the pick is going to be Mac Jones. I don't like it, but hey, if anybody can make it work, it's Kyle Shanahan.
That's a L. L. Capital L.
You know,
Go
hey,
ahead,
I
Gabe.
mean,
Take it from here.
Yeah, I
Gabe.
mean, it's
Speak for me. You know what I'm
like,
saying.
dude. My thoughts on Mac Jones, right? I'm a little bit higher than I would say consensus. You know, a lot of people are just completely shitting. I'm thinking he's like a complete shitter. I don't necessarily have that same opinion, but this is not a guy. Like I think the Kirk Cousins comparison is kind of appropriate
Yeah.
in that he's not very talented. He has average written all over him from a talent standpoint. That doesn't mean he's gonna be an average player in the NFL because he does do things the right way. He does have good accuracy. He does have good mechanics in the pocket. He does have a good throwing motion. He does seem to understand fairly complex, scheme and where he goes to progression as well. He does the basics of football and executes them at a high level. Now, is it easy to do that at Alabama, which is again NFL junior, right? They have NFL players across the board, NFL O line, their receiving core was literally better than a lot of NFL teams' receiving core. You gotta understand that's 4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
These guys are getting elite separation at the college level. As
I mean,
far
DeVonta
as
Smith
him,
to run a flat round, go for 30
I'm
yards.
saying, like, you got guys that are absolutely just butt naked every play. You got an NFL O line that's just bullying
I'm
guys up
surprised
front.
Hardhead hasn't said nothing
You
yet.
got an NFL running back. You know, it's an
Can
easy
y'all hear
button.
me?
It's
Yeah,
easy
we-
button.
Yeah.
So how does that translate to the NFL? Well, luckily for him, he is going to an easy button system though. That wide zone scheme that we saw, the Rams run to great success with Jared Goff, who is dog shit. Right? We can all agree Jared Goff's not very good.
Yeah.
You saw
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, a good quarterback, run that wide zone scheme this last year at an advanced age and MVP.
Yeah.
Right? It opens up things so much for the offense to where even though Mac is not super mobile and not very talented from like an arm standpoint, he'll be effective. And that's a Super Bowl team. They have a ton of weapons, guys that can run after the catch. So in my mind, I think that they want a guy that they know what they're going to get, consistency, quick passing, effective accuracy, get the ball in the playmakers like Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, guys that can make plays after the catch. They don't need a quarterback to create these plays for them when they have all these other guys. So I get it. I just don't agree. I think, it's just Shanahan trying to be the smartest guy in the room, right? Everybody wants the next Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance, Justin Fields. I want the next Kirk Cousins. I want a guy that's going to come in and just do it.
Yep. And that was actually considered a problem of his when he was here. Like,
Yeah.
he was always trying to, I guess, toot his own horn, like kind of show off, like I'm the man. I call the plays. I can make this person be, like, set whatever.
Yeah, me as being a Washington fan, I think I can 100% agree with you on that. I mean, it runs in the family. Mike was the same way. It's one of those things where if Kyle Shanahan doesn't get in his own way, he has 2 Super Bowl rings on his finger.
Yeah. But he's a savant when it comes to offensive.
Absolutely. I you
disagree
can't
with
take that
that.
from him.
I disagree with that. Because like he like
Here we go.
it was just unfortunate events. No, for real. It was just like unfortunate events. Yeah, they lost the Super Bowl. Like, yeah, and then like the season before that, they should have made playoffs, but everybody got injured. Then the next season, they made Super Bowl. The next season after that, everybody got injured. So it's just unfortunate events that he went through. And I believe this is the year. And I believe Mac
who would
Jones
you
is like
pick right
the
here?
highest IQ quarterback.
You're taking Mac Jones?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't take Mac Jones, but I understand why he's taking Mac Jones.
Yeah,
He's the highest IQ, like quarterback in the draft.
I agree.
He
I
has the
don't.
highest IQ.
I'm
Like
not a Mac
Shanahan
Jones
going to
fan.
save you all the time. He's not going to save you.
By any stretch of the means. I'm not a
I
Mac
mean,
Jones fan by any stretch of the means.
You don't
but
have to
you
be.
can't.
He's not the flashiest. Like you don't have
No.
to be a fan.
No,
Like,
no.
But he has the highest
pick that's
IQ.
going to be
and
made.
Shanahan isn't going to save you all the time when you go to the line. Like he's not
No.
going to save you. You're going to have to audible out. You're going to have to do all these things. And I believe he fits the bill for that.
He definitely
Like, he has
is.
the highest IQ.
He definitely is a Mike Shanahan type of quarterback and fits Kyle Shanahan's system because he might not be the most mobile quarterback, but damn if they won't be rolling doing play action rollouts with them. I guarantee you they will. So hey, it's the pick. I don't like it, but I'm about certain that's the pick at this point. The words from Kyle Shanahan kind of point towards that. But moving on in to the fourth overall pick in the draft, I turn it over to Gabe and Hardhead.
Gabe, take it away. I don't even
Dirty
have to say it.
Birds.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a perfect world we could probably all agree that the Falcons' defense is fucking terrible. It's legitimately one of the worst depth charts in the league on paper. I've looked at it most times and I'm just like, wow.
And you're gonna pick an offensive player.
The cap space is fucked. It's all fucked. So in a perfect world, yeah, we would really like to completely just absolutely take advantage of somebody, quarterback needy team, maybe the Broncos, Patriots that really wants to give the farm up to try to get a now available Trey Lance, Justin Fields, right? Because Mac Jones probably going 3. That would be ideal. Recoup some stuff, try to build for the future. But, and for the purpose of this, I do think if they stay put, I really do think it'll be Kyle Pitts. If they stay put, I just think that, and I wouldn't hate quarterback, but to do what they've done with Matt Ryan, to really lock him in for 2 more years, I really feel like that's a commitment. And to pick a quarterback would basically be saying, fuck these next 2 years, we're just going to suck. Like that, the quarterback's not going to play. So you might as well try to maximize what you have left of Matt Ryan. And he does seem to do the best when he has a stacked offense. And what better than to pick in my opinion, the best player in the entire draft.
What about a trade down there?
If it was if a trade offer was brought to the table, I feel like made sense because it's not just one defensive
How much
player
would you want? Like, what?
If I'm the Falcons, I'm demanding at least bare minimum 2 first-round picks. That's just bare minimum.
Like 2 future first, like.
Yeah, well, the first this year, and then the first next
swap.
year. Yeah. Obviously swap, and then because like say Broncos, Patriots potential, first this year, first next year, and then that's just the starting point, and then we can go from there.
Yes.
But that's what they would need because one player is not fixing this defense. Even if there was a Chase Young in the draft, which there's not even close. Yeah. You need a lot more than one player to fix this defense. And they hit well last year. AJ Terrell has played good. He's a good young prototypical corner, good size. If they could get another corner, like a Surtain, like a Jace Horn, like a Farley, that's good. But it still sucks.
I mean, Terrell's just happy Jamar Chase won't be in his division.
Okay.
So, but going to the pick though, if they stay put, I really do think that Kyle Pitts is the guy. I think he's the best player in the draft. I think he is by far the best tight end prospect I've ever seen in my entire life.
I agree.
I think he's actually legitimately one of the best players to come into the draft, period, regardless of offensive position. I really do think that this guy is going to be a first-team All-Pro within 2 years. I see him as the best tight end and potentially one of the best offensive players in the NFL. When I look at his game, when I look at his skill set, what he has, the type of mismatch potential, a lot of people are trying to compare him to Calvin. I don't necessarily see that, but there is a very impressive fluidity to his movement for considering his size. And really the craziest thing about his game is just the nuance and his understanding of the receiver position. He has brilliant technical skills. His footwork, his release work, his hand fighting, his understanding of concepts as far as routes, his spacing. He's a very, very meticulous guy when he's working his route. He's not just some physical beast that just, dominates guys on the stem of his route. He really works articulately on these routes, and you can see that in a lot of his college footage. And I see him coming in to the Falcons, and if he got picked by this team, I think he would make a very, very significant impact. And I really think they would have one of the best offenses in football. Does it mean Super Bowl? Probably not, right? But they will score like 30 plus a game and they give themselves a chance.
They're going to have to outscore everybody. They still don't have a defense.
But that's the thing, though. What defensive player is going to save them to where it's going to make a significant difference anyways? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so bad that, like, say they trade back, they get Surtain. All right, you got Surtain, you got Terrell, okay. You got Deion Jones, you got Grady Jarrett. That's it. You got some cornerstone players, but the defense itself is so compromised in the middle. I just don't really see.
Don't sleep on the little con.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like the defense's thing is. But you never know. If they can get a fucking crazy offer, I really do think they would move back. I really do think they would move back if they get a crazy offer.
At this point, I think the only team that would even remotely try to trade up that far just to make sure they got their guy to lock in, is going to be the Patriots. I know there's a lot of chatter a couple weeks ago about Washington, but like I said from jump, I don't think Washington's moving. Only way Washington moves is if Justin Fields makes some dramatic fall outside the top 10. Then they'll make a move to jump in front of New England. But other than that, I don't see it happening. I think Washington's going to stay put. So the pick at 4, I think that's a lock for Pitts, and I feel like Atlanta's going to try Dallas Cowboy it and put up 100 points on the board and try to outgun you.
Well, and another thing too that we didn't really hit on, the impending news of Julio. Regardless if Julio's traded now or later or whatever the case is, and I love Julio. I really do think he's the best receiver in football, and I feel like he has been since Calvin retired, and I think he's one of the best receivers to ever play football. Top 5 in my opinion. He's not going to be Julio forever, right? This guy is getting older. He has health issues because of how physically gifted he is. It's going to happen. You don't want to wait until the decline to try to either build for the future or to trade the guy. Kyle Pitts could come in and be that next big thing for the Atlanta offense, regardless. So I don't know. To me, it does make sense on a lot of fronts, but yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense at the end of the day to go ahead and make that move. Unfortunately, it's crazy. Like when you saw what the value was for Julio Jones, even at this point at 32, is like where people saying he's only worth a second. That to me is crazy to think that, but I mean, so is the market. When unfortunately, the one thing, the best ability in football is availability, and Julio really wasn't available much last year. However, with that being said, Julio would still be the second leading receiver on most teams with the amount of yards he put up, even with missing the amount of games that he did. So obviously, it's there for him to be a number 1 receiver still, and he's still an elite receiver in this league. But hey, I like the pick. You can't go wrong. But moving on to number 5. Now, this is my pick. I kind of racked my brain with this one because I did not, your head should tell you one thing, but I feel like at the end of the day, the Bengals are going to do what makes Joe Burrow more comfortable. And they're going to go get him his former teammate and his friend, Jamar Chase. So I think number 5 the pick is Jamar Chase. Now, I think if you saw the way he was getting hit last year, protection should be the ideal pick, but they don't have they're lacking the weapons to really to be explosive and get the ball down the field the way they want to. They drafted John Ross a couple of years ago, hoping he could be that, but obviously we know he just didn't pan out. So I really think here at number 5 we have Jamar Chase, and people really, I don't know what if we forgot if Devontae Smith made people forget who Jamar Chase was. However, Jamar Chase was still the best receiver in college football even last year. Don't let Devontae Smith winning the Heisman make you sleep on that. LSU had a down year, but Jamar Chase was still Jamar Chase. So I think that's going to be the lock of the pick. I'm pretty sure they asked Joe who they should go get, and it's going to be Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they need a left tackle, so I still think Sewell's the pick. But I mean, it makes sense though.
Yeah,
like getting Chase. But the thing is though, like they still have Boyd. They just got Higgins. He was a first rounder last year, right? Like they just got a receiver, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, he's comfortable with Burrow. He was great.
All right, I'll ask a question to everybody.
Shoot.
I'll ask a question. Would y'all rather have
Go ahead.
a line with no receivers or receivers with no line?
Hey, man,
that's receivers.
I mean,
don't know.
If you have a line with no receivers, who are you throwing the ball to? Yeah, you got a line that's going to block and give you a couple of extra seconds, but if you don't have anybody that can help you out and to get you to that to get separation.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
And don't get
you
me
know?
wrong, Jamar Chase is not. He's no slouch, but like he's not like a crazy receiver to pick over a left tackle right here. That's gonna protect your QB. I don't know. That's just how.
But again,
And he just tore his ACL.
Who?
again, who tore his ACL?
Oh, you know, Jamar Chase.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
cool. I mean, that play was it was a freak accident. I mean, truthfully, if I obviously was watching the game
A lot
live,
of freak accidents when he's running for his life all the time.
but at that play, the tackle actually made a good play. Chase Young just got pancaked into the guys into his leg. So I mean,
I
it was a freak
definitely
accident.
understand the hesitancy with wanting to take Jamar, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they did take Jonah Williams at the first round.
You like
Yes,
Jamar here, Gabe?
And Jonah is a good player. He just has a little bit of durability problem. When Jonah's out there, he plays good ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
You pick
actually
Jamar right here, Gabe?
I would pick Jamar. And really the reason is I actually do tend to believe he is a freak talent. I don't think he's the most athletically imposing I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't really blow me away from like an athletic standpoint, but from a competitive standpoint, and he really kind of reminds me.
That's why I like him too.
The dog in him. He has a DeAndre Hopkins type dog.
Exactly. That's my exact comparison, dude.
But he has the movement of an Antonio Brown. So we're seeing elite fluid movement on his routes, but physicality of a DeAndre. And I don't know. I think the fit is good, and they do have weapons. They have T. Higgins, right? Good player. They have Tyler Boyd, excellent slot. They have Joe Mixon, very versatile all-around back. Joe Burrow, I think played pretty well. You mix in Jamar Chase, a real premium X, a flanker that you can put out there, and you can mix him everywhere. And it's a guy that dominated college football at the highest level. It's a 19-year-old kid, and he's only probably gotten better athletically. I just think it's harder to find elite talents at the playmaking position than it is replacement level tackles. Because Sewell is fucking freak. He's a beast. He's one of the best tackle prospects we've seen in a while. But you invested in Jonah Williams. Like, you can't draft Jonah Williams in the first round and not stick with it. And they just signed Riley Reef in free agency again, replacement level, nothing special, but I think good enough to where you could build in the future, right? Because if you pass on Jamar Chase, you get Sewell. I mean, they're gonna be ass still. I think Chase does help more for a better future. If they pick Sewell, I think it's a good pick too. I really think they can't fuck it up. You pick Sewell, that's lit. You pick Chase, I think it's also lit.
Yeah. Looking at the way I had it listed on the draftees for the Bengals, I had tackle 1, receiver 2.
Yeah.
However, again,
that is correct.
Yeah. Again, you cannot neglect. Yeah, you can't neglect your offensive line, but I don't care if you have the offensive line the Dallas Cowboys have had the last few years, prior to last year. If you don't have anybody to throw to, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. So to me, that's the only pick that makes sense to me.
I mean, they go hand in hand, though.
Yeah, they do. They really do. So I mean, you can't knock it. You can't knock it. So yeah, we have Chase at 5 for the Bengals, and we turn it over to GM Shots for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, so this actually, if I was the Dolphins right here, I'd be stunned because you traded at 3, got back to 12, got back to 6, and now Chase and Pitts are gone. So I don't think they would go Sewell, even though it would kind of. I mean, he could beef up their O line, but I don't think so. I think they would just take the best receiver. So I'll go Jalen Waddle.
Wow.
And I mean, I don't know if they would trade down right here. I doubt it, but if there was a team maybe looking up for a quarterback, I don't think they would go quarterback right here. Even 2, I think, isn't very good, but I don't think they're going to do it just for realistic purposes. Like, if this is my team, I'd probably take Fields right here, but I know they're not going to do that. So, and I don't think Sewell would be the other pick. Like, for me, it's Sewell or Waddle right here. But you got Will Fuller, you got Devontae Parker, so I think Waddle would fit in with them, the other 2 receivers. So
So would you run Waddle out of the slot and have Fuller?
Yeah, Waddle in the slot.
I'm shocked because I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were going to go Sewell. The reason I thought you were going to go Sewell was just because of that move that the Dolphins made today by trading out Eric Flowers back to Washington. You know, I thought
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be the move. You know, hey, but
I mean, I think it's between one of those two.
you know,
Like you just had a
it's
50-50. Like mine, I think it's the same way.
it's funny how far the mighty do fall, because here's the one player that wasn't mentioned right there that was everybody thought after that national championship performance was a lock, and that's Devontae
Yeah.
Smith. You know, and I've seen where Devontae Smith could fall as far as 19, if not further, which is crazy. Not saying I don't think he will, but you know, hey, it just goes to show that you never know when it comes to the NFL what people are thinking and what these GMs are thinking. So, you know, we're at the end of the day, the people, even the people that are doing the mock drafts, like us. I mean, do we really know? It's kind of looking at the team, what makes sense, and looking at team needs and hoping you get it right. The one thing I've learned is the only people that truly know is come draft day who's getting picking who is the other 32 teams know who's getting picked because they're trying to maneuver around the draft board and trying to see if players are going to be available when they pick. But other than that,
Well, we know Devontae Smith not dropping in this mock.
So now, since Bashis has fallen out and we have moved on to number 7, Gabe, do you feel comfortable picking for the Lions?
Yeah, where Bashes go?
I do not know.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Lions, I'm fairly happy right now.
Hold on. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, hold on.
Just in time, bro.
Right on time.
We are on your
Fashionably
pick,
late.
man,
That's
number
literally
7 with
Jalen's
the Detroit Lions.
He's gonna take a quarterback lunch.
All right, hello.
Yeah, it's on you, buddy. Who you got with the Lions at number 7?
The
Who
Dolphins
went
picked
7?
Waddle, by the way.
I mean, who went 6? Who went 6? Who went 6?
Waddle.
Jalen Waddle went number 6.
Okay.
Hello?
Lions.
Hold up.
Lions are the more interesting teams to be nice, to be polite. So they
Say
need
their
a
roster
receiver
sucks, bro. It's
bad, very bad. So we're gonna go Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Because that's
I told you. he wasn't falling
there's
in
no
this
other
mock.
choice. There's no other choice. The Lions need a receiver for golf bad. So
I mean, you're absolutely right about one thing.
Smith.
There's nothing nice you can say about the Detroit Lions roster. They've
Hardhead,
lost.
can you name the Lions starting receivers right now?
Dude,
Let's
I'm
quiz
over
him.
here trying to think like I have
Quintez
no idea.
Cephas.
Who?
No.
Fucking
No.
Quentin Cephas, Jesus Christ.
Bro, like
Rashard
they
Perryman, Tyrell Williams. That's how bad.
whew.
Wow.
One
they
thing I'll
lost.
say, one thing good I'll say about the Lions is that they have a run game. They have the DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson, Adrian Peterson. They have a run game, and they just don't have the receivers.
I mean, they're not going to have a pass game. I mean, they don't
What's
got a
interesting
quarterback.
though about the situation where the Lions are at though, and at least with our mock, and this could be realistic the way that's kind of panned out. Do you think there might be some internal debate if Sewell is there to maybe explore that? Sewell being again a generational tackle prospect.
Yeah, but they're not going to take him. They can't afford to pass up on a receiver
to
here.
pass one
They
receiver,
can't afford it.
of Devontae's
They
caliber.
have to take it here. They
I
have to
selfishly
right
hope
here.
Devontae doesn't end up there because I really would hate to see a young man's career get ruined before it begins.
Oh,
So I really don't want to see Devontae or any receiver end up on that team.
Man, you're spitting.
No, I really don't. I really dislike the Lions very much. They are a very, very pathetic franchise.
But you know what? As disrespectful as you can find that, or as hurtful as you might think that is to say, but look at what the Detroit Lions tend to do to their star players. The Detroit Lions have had two of the top 5 players at their position in the history of the league on their team, and they ran them off into retirement. That's a fact. They had an arguable. You can argue Calvin for top. People don't like when I mention it, but I think Calvin's probably.
Me and Jalen traded.
Okay, hey, that's fine.
We traded,
You know,
man. So
but,
Pats are on the clock.
all
Dinged it.
right. So hey, hold on? Since we have a trade, what was the trade? What was the package? I'm curious. What did you give up to make this trade?
He's giving me a fourth, Carter. A fourth is fine. He's giving me the 15th pick. I'm giving him the 8th pick, and he's also adding a fourth to it. So yeah.
But
wait, what?
Oh, what? He's giving the pick away for a bag of chips.
It's a third this year and a second next year.
So only a
Carolina
swap
gets
of
a
the,
third
only a
this year
swap
and
of the
second
one
next year.
first round pick.
No, they're going from 15 to 8.
Yeah,
They're
no, I'm
swapping.
saying 15 to 8, but
Yeah.
they're not
They
giving
go
up
from
the
8
future
to
first.
15, and they get a third. No, they
Third
get a
and a
third
second.
next year and a second or third this year and a second next year.
Okay.
That's good enough.
That's doable.
They're the
That's
Panthers. What
doable.
do they need?
All right, so the New England Patriots are on the clock at number 8. What's the pick?
Yep. And the pick is Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Easy trade up. So I don't know. There's been a lot of Fields negativity, and I mean he shouldn't even have fell to 8 in this mock, to be honest. But I don't know why. I don't get the Field slander. Like he's played great in big games. He's tough. Like you've seen the hits he's taken. Like his body. He's got an NFL body. Like he's athletic. He can throw on the run. I mean, he makes some poor decisions sometimes, and that's probably what a lot of people don't like. Maybe people think he's not like the brightest quarterback, but I mean, pretty much you just put him here behind Cam a little bit. You know, Cam's not very good. You know. So Cam would teach him some of that stuff. So, I mean, I think it just makes sense for the Patriots to trade up. I think if him or Lance would be here at 8 or 7, the Patriots are going to call the Lions. They're going to call the Panthers. They're going to try to trade up if these guys are on the board.
Yeah, I really think New England is going to. The reason I think the trade up does make sense more so than anything is New England wants to make sure that the quarterback needy teams behind them do not trade up. You know, your teams like the Bears, Washington,
Washington.
those teams. Because if Fields falls outside the top 10, I'm telling you right now, Washington is on the phone with whatever team that is at 12 or 13. Well, the 12 is the Eagles, so they'll probably be 13 with the Chargers because they don't want to give the Eagles any more draft capital. If he falls past 12, Washington's on the phone trying to trade up to grab Justin Fields. That's probably a lock, I think, if that does happen. However, pick makes sense. You can't go wrong. You're right. We saw it in college when it comes to Justin Fields. He does have it to succeed. But, there are things that with Justin Fields that does scare me. But, yeah, I think the Justin Fields, it does work too. So, if any quarterback can succeed in the NFL – let me back up. I used to be able to say this, but Cam Newton kind of changed my opinion. If any quarterback can succeed in New England under Bill Belichick, it's going to be Justin Fields. I think it's a great pick. I tell you, I'll say it like this: if Justin Fields comes out and balls, it just shows just how much of a mad scientist and genius Bill Belichick really is. So, yeah, you're right. Can't go wrong. But I love the trade too. So, on to the Denver Broncos. And Mr. Altitudes is not with us. So I shall pass this pick along to Shots. Do you feel comfortable taking the reins as GM for the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, I think it might surprise you guys a little bit, but
Sure.
I would go. So I think this could happen, and this is what I would do if I was drafting a team. I would go Trey Lance right here because it's already known that they're not huge on Lock, and I'm not a big. I mean, we know about Drew Lock. Like he's pretty much
Yeah.
fraud. So like that'll be done by. I mean, he'll be done by this season. Like he's got 1 year left. Like if that. So I would go, and their roster's not that bad. Like they got good wideouts, great tight end, the line's solid, defense pretty solid. They don't have like any huge needs. Maybe a linebacker. Like you could maybe consider Parsons right here. But I would go Trey Lance, and you don't have to play Lance right away either. So you can go one more season and lose with Drew Lock and tank with Drew Lock, and then you can play Lance next year. So I think it could happen. I don't know. I don't think they will do it, but I think they're thinking about it if like him or Fields were to fall. So I'll go Lance.
Yeah, hey, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. I think you can't go wrong with the pick of Lance there. Or if you had went corner, you couldn't have gone wrong there either. So I can see it. I can see that working. The Broncos have been trying so hard since Peyton left to find that quarterback situation out, and you know, you have to hit. Hey man, you have to hit eventually. You keep drafting quarterbacks in the first round. You can't keep drafting and just keep missing. I mean, unless you're the Browns, you got to hit some. You have to eventually hit gold somewhere. So I like the pick. It makes all the sense in the world. I think Vic Fangio's job rides on whoever they pick at that position, especially if they go quarterback at 9 and it's Lance. It's all in for Vic Fangio, and I think they're going to ride Trey Lance as the starter.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So
and we know John Elway loves big, strong quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, I mean that's your Elway build right now.
Like the MO of John Elway.
Yeah.
Does this guy look good in shorts?
Pretty much. Well, you have Brock Osweiler, Drew Lock. Who else has come? I mean,
what was the Paxton Lynch?
You know, the scouts have been calling him Josh Allen. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah. I mean, he has a similar
he does
profile.
You know,
that's who they've been saying. So, I mean, I don't know.
And one quick thing too on the field thing, because I didn't really bring it up. I was picked prior, but it is. I know we all have like the consensus thought on Fields, and even Lance to a degree, like they're falling. Like we view them as better prospects than Mac. It is bizarre. The only thing I can really compare the Fields thing to, it does remind me a lot of the Deshaun Watson situation. Like when I was a very big Watson fan coming out of college. I thought he had the pedigree, the winning mindset. When I watched him play in those big games, he always performed. And to me, I thought Watson was by far the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
Like when I looked at it, that's what I thought. Like this guy outplayed Bama in the chip. Like this
I
is
agree.
the guy. And it was so bizarre to me seeing like him fall. I didn't really understand because I'm like, this guy's gonna be a superstar. Like, what are y'all doing? And I see a similar. I don't think Fields was as good as Watson was, but I see a similar thing, and I don't really know how to. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the epilepsy, perhaps. Maybe it's something. I don't know what it is exactly that's causing teams to. I mean, it's all speculation. Maybe he does end up going through. I don't know, but it does seem like he's gonna fall, and I really do hope he ends up on the Patriots because I think he'd smash. I really do think the guy is super talented, man.
Yeah.
So this would be ideal. Broncos getting Lance and the Patriots getting Fields would be great.
Yeah. I mean,
would you take? So Gabe, if you were the Patriots there and you traded up, you're taking Fields over Lance, correct?
That's a good question. To be honest, they're different players. I think Lance definitely has the high. I think Lance's ceiling is the highest in the entire draft for quarterback. Higher than Lawrence, higher than all. I think Lance's upside is actually fucking absurd. I wouldn't even be upset if the Falcons pick Lance. I'll be like, I'm here for it. But there is more questions about him translating than I think Fields. I think Fields is a very polished, accurate passer who can do a lot of the same stuff off platform, who is similarly explosive, if not probably a little bit.
So part two, do you think Do you think Denver
Cam-
would take either of those two at 9?
Yeah. If Lance was there, Denver, I mean, I'd have to imagine Denver's just salivating at
And
the thought of
Fields.
drafting, or Fields too. I mean, he's also a big, strong kid. Not as big as Lance, obviously, but
Yeah, I
and I
agree.
think Lance's
think
athleticism
Broncos
is
would
very
definitely pull a
underrated.
trigger.
It is very Josh Allen-esque. Josh Allen. I know he's white, but like he is a very athletic guy. Like Josh Allen is damn near as
Yeah.
athletic as Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy is very fast, very explosive.
Hey,
And if you guys watched any of Trey Lance,
Oh,
in
that probably
college,
hurt somebody.
that dude Trey Lance is explosive, man.
Look.
Like real.
never in my wildest imaginations did I think I was going to see a white guy at quarterback lower his shoulder like Cam Newton and try to blow through
Yeah.
D-backs.
Josh Allen's crazy.
You know?
Maybe stiff arming dudes into the
Yeah.
dirt and shit.
Yeah. So hey,
He's fast.
he's very productive. You can't go wrong with that pick. But so we have Fields at 8, Lance at 9, and we pass it over to the AT alien himself, their hardhead for the Dallas Cowboys. He's playing GM.
Can y'all hear me?
Who does Dallas go with at 10?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you breaking up. What's going on?
Oh Lord. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Breaking up, but so we got Mr. Dan Quinn out there, the greatest defensive coordinator ever out there in Dallas, just chilling. And he comes out to the practice field and notices that he has Trayvon Diggs on one side, and I think I could be wrong. Kyle Pitts gonna have no Jerry Jones infatuated with him, but I think that the Cowboys will go corner, but I think they will pick J.C. Horn over Patrick Surtain.
Hey,
Y'all can hear
I
me?
like it. Yeah, I can hear you, Shots.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I like it. I truly do. I like that pick. I like it more than Surtain.
He picked. I missed it.
He picked
Jason Horn.
J.C. Horn.
Ooh.
I love it. I
like
love it. With Dallas, with that, I think he fits better than Surtain, anyways. Personally, in that system, everybody. Here's the thing with J.C. Horn, because I've seen J.C. Horn. He's ranged from a second round pick to late first round, now
Someone's
to
making
top
wrong.
10. I think Hardhead is
There
I
you
don't
go.
know where Hardhead is, but yeah, I mean J.C. Horn's been all over the board, but I truly think he's been slept on because he's had some impressive games against some of the college's best receivers this year and in past years. So yeah, you can't go wrong
I love
with
that
it.
pick right there.
Absolutely. The one thing we can say, they're not as bad as Atlanta, but Dallas's defense is pretty bad. The Dallas's defense is pretty bad.
Detroit
and-
says hi in Houston.
But hey, here's the thing: outside DeMarcus Lawrence, you can't name not a single player on Dallas's defense that just
Trayvon
blows
Diggs.
you away.
That's
I said
about
that
it.
blows you away. That
Oh,
doesn't blow
wow.
me
I
away.
mean, Jalen and Leighton do.
Oh, I
I
thought
think
you
when
were
they're healthy.
Leighton retired.
I mean, Jalen's been healthy, but Jalen played horrible last year.
I know
Sean
both
Payton
of them, but I think that there was some schematic stuff. I think that kind of played into it. I think when those guys are on, I do like their sideline to sideline ability, but I do agree the defense as a whole is fucking terrible. The secondary, particularly, is just. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a bit smooth.
Who would you pick right here, Gabe? You're taking a corner.
I would take a
though,
corner.
right?
I would take a corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm the Cowboy, it makes sense. And I
Yeah.
think it's just pick it
I
away.
agree.
I think Farley's the best corner, but I am concerned about his health. Like it's
His
hard
health, yeah.
to, and there's a lot of questions. Like I am not involved that much to know the real specifics, the nitty gritty of this. Like, because for all we know, it could be the same thing with Fields, right? His epilepsy. I don't know the details of that. I'm very familiar with epilepsy. When was his last seizure though? Does he have a driver's license? Like, how is it impacting them? Does it impact them enough to where it's causing a fall? Same thing with Farley. Like, what is the real details with this injury history? Because I think he is healthy, best corner in draft for sure. I mean, guys, freak recovery speed, like Patrick Peterson-esque recovery speed, which is just you can't teach it. You can't do anything to attain that.
Well,
But it's hard to project and be like, oh, I'm gonna get Farley. What if he is damaged goods?
the way I look at it, and I say it like this: when you look at Farley, I do agree. I do think he is the best corner in the draft, but everybody talks about the back issues. I equate it to let's just go back a couple of years to 2016 when Washington took Jonathan Allen.
Yeah,
Jonathan Allen was not supposed to be there.
right.
Let's be quite honest. Jonathan Allen was supposed to be in the top 10. Some people had him top 5. And the reason he fell was because of concerns about his shoulder. So, I mean, we don't know. Do we really know? Jonathan Allen's turned out to be one of the best. He's probably one of the best defensive lines in football right now.
Yeah.
So, you never know. Sometimes you just got to take the risk. A team is going to take that risk.
For sure.
And look, if somehow he falls in the second round, somebody's getting a steal. Especially if he's healthy, that's a steal.
It's one of those things, like you said, you have for every Jonathan Allen, a guy that was projected as a top 5 pick, the best interior lineman in his draft class, and the injury concerns are a little bit overblown, right? So they get a steal. But then there's the other side of the coin where you have like a Sidney Jones situation where a guy was the best corner in the draft, was the most talented out of Washington, but there was concerns about his injury, and it has proven to be true. The injury concerns were real. He hasn't been able to be the same caliber player, and that ends up being a bad pick.
Yeah.
So you have to do your due diligence and just see with your medical staff and determine like this guy is gonna be fine or not. And I mean, if I'm the Cowboys, if they can really determine to a T that this guy is healthy, then I would pick him. But yeah, I mean, I think Jace Horn is an excellent pick. The physicality, Dan Quinn. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
100%, can't go wrong. Now, with this next pick at number 12, number 11, we're going to stay in the NFC East, or the NFC least, the way it's been looking the last couple of years. And I'm going to turn it over to GM Bashes for his New York Football Giants. So, Jalen, feel free to take it over. I know you're.
All right, before I start, Connor, do you want this pick for the Chargers?
No,
Yes, no.
I
I'm
respond
taxing
to
now.
no. Chargers are declining this
All
trade.
right.
We're staying put.
All right, say less. 11th pick, Giants. We take Penei Sewell.
Hey, he's there for you.
We take Penei
What a
Sewell.
gift.
He's the best
What a
he's the
gift.
best
That would
lineman.
literally
We
be
can
the
move him
best
to
pick
left
in the draft.
tackle. He could play right tackle. He could play guard. Like, this is a Hall of Famer in my eyes. Like, and he's at 11. So, Giants get Penei Sewell. He's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Hey, let me say it like
20
this.
years
And
old,
by
man.
far the best
20
player,
years old.
but by far the best player in the draft. Second best player in the draft behind Trevor Lawrence, by far.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that, and the Giants would be absolutely insane not to do that, to go with that pick. I mean, gosh, if you look at the pass rushers in the NFC East, yeah, I mean you got to do it. It makes sense. The Philly's not a great team.
We gotta play Chase Young.
Yeah, you got to play Chase Young. You still have Montez Sweat. You have
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence is over there. Philly still has Brandon Graham. Graham is over there. We're not going to sleep on Brandon Graham like he's a bum, because he's not. Fletcher Cox. The NFC East, as bad as the division's been as a whole, the pass rushers are there. There are defensive linemen in the NFC East. So and especially when that's six of your 17 games now are division games. Yeah, you got to be ready to go against it. So it's the perfect pick for the New York Giants. Any other pick, if Sewell's on the board, is wrong. I've heard a lot of talk about Parsons and other players, but if Sewell's on the board, any other pick is wrong. So, that was a lock, easy pick. And
I love this pick for my guys.
Yeah,
that would
absolutely.
be a godsend if that happens. I'm not gonna lie. If
Yeah.
that dude falls to pick, oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna lie. As a
I
fan,
mean,
a
but you got to
Washington
think
fan,
though,
I'd be heated.
it's only if the Bengals doesn't take him. It's only if the Bengals
I
don't
don't
take
think
him.
it's entirely
It's a
unrealistic.
possibility he
It's
falls
not
to
like
11, and he
like
did
it
right
could
here.
definitely happen, and if it does, man, wow,
You
would
know,
be hard. It would be hard to have a better pick in the first round than Sewell at 11 to the
oh yeah.
Giants.
The only other team I can see make if he falls a little bit too far, that I can see making the trade. Truthfully, I can see the Chargers trading up for Sewell. I can absolutely see that.
Yeah.
You know, I can see it.
We're not
That
going
is
to
a
give up
possibility.
too much though, because there's
You're
another
not
guy
right.
on
You're
the
not going to
board.
give up too much. I mean, but how far would you really have to go? Dallas might trade back from 10 because I'm here's what I'm certain of. If Dallas trades back from 10 to go to 13, I think Horn and Surtain will be sitting there, and I think they would be okay with either one of them. So it would make perfect sense if they decided to move up to in front of the Giants to make sure they got their guy. I'm pretty sure Dallas would be like, hey, I don't want this guy in my division for the next 10 years or longer. So yeah, I could see that happening. But
I think
yeah,
it depends
it's a
on
lot.
how much they're going to tax. That's the thing.
Yeah, I agree.
What are they going to
I
ask
agree.
for? It matters.
100%.
It changes depending on the compensation.
100%. I definitely agree. But let's go on to the I don't know what the issue with this team is, but the front office is in shambles. The coach doesn't know how to speak to the media. The coach says he's going to draw schemes that are going to be easy for them but hard for other people. So we're going to go to
Open competition on Joe Flacco.
yeah. We're going to the city of there's no brotherly love, but it is Philly. And we're going to turn it over to Gabe, the GM of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and if you're Philly here, this is kind of like the worst case scenario. Everybody that you really were into is taken already at this juncture, right? Like with all this news of Fields falling and all this stuff, like you were just begging that this happens, that he falls all the way to you to where you could take him, Lance, Devontae Smith, Jalen. They shoehorned themselves because they had pick 6, right?
Yeah.
But the prevailing thought was, we want Zach Wilson, Jamar Chase, or we're trading back. So that's another reason why I think Chase is going to the Bengals. I don't think the Eagles would do that trade unless they knew for certainty that Jamar Chase will not be there at 6, because he's obviously the slam dunk pick for them at 6 if he's there. But
right,
they trade back. They can't get Zach Wilson. They trade back. So now you're like, okay, as far as what they got, I thought it was an excellent trade in terms of value. You trade back 6 spots, get a first round pick.
Right.
Impressive. What do you do with it though? Right. This whole charade is basically, it's a competition for Jalen Hurts. We're going to see if he's the real deal or not. But is it though? Right? Is it though? You're not calling him the starter. We have competition with Joe fucking Flacco in 2021. I mean, fucking yikes. And there's no receivers on this team. This team's receiving core is one of the worst in the league. So who the fuck, Hurts, I'm an Oklahoma fan. I wasn't high on him really that much to begin with. I'm a little surprised he got picked in general and got to actually play quarterback last year. I thought he's improved a lot, but I'm not really looking at Hurts as like a franchise quarterback. But I'd at least like to see the guy get a chance to prove himself. I just don't. What are they doing? You're gonna take Rashad Bateman here? All the guys are gone. So to me, you kind of just have to go defensive side of the ball, and you got corner or linebacker. I'll go with Micah Parsons. I do think the guy is a very versatile defender, and it kind of goes in line with what they want to do. They want to be versatile. They want to be able to do complex things that are going to confuse defenses. What better than to get an off-ball linebacker that's one of the best blitzes we've seen since, Dansby, right? I don't know if you guys remember Dansby back on the Cardinals,
No.
We haven't seen a guy that has this type of blitzing ability as from the off-ball linebacker position. He's a great tackler. Not the best pass coverage I've ever seen in my life, but he does bring a lot of versatility to the team. He'll be able to open some stuff up. You already have a hellacious front 7 with Fletcher and BG and some of the other rotational guys. I could see Micah coming in, having an impact right away, and try to solidify the front 7 even more. You want to build where you're strong at. They're strong in the front 7. Try to take advantage of that. Maybe take a little bit of a page out of the Washington book and try to just build that front 7 up and just create havoc. So that's what we'll do. We'll go Michael Parsons, but we're not happy about it. You want to get Jalen Waddle. You want to get Devontae Smith. You want something. right? But
Yeah.
it's not there.
You know, hey, and the one thing you can say about Philadelphia is you're right. You do Washington literally they they sat there and they put all faith in the world in that front seven, and they just said go get them. And honestly, that's the only reason they had even a remote chance to make the playoffs. Because that offense was terrible in DC.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think a lot of teams. I think you're going to start seeing a lot of teams go take that go that route. I mean, truthfully, Washington took took a page out of it's actually out of Dallas's playbook, but then Washington did it on the defensive side. If we remember, Dallas went back to back to back with offensive linemen in the first round
Yeah.
a few years ago. So it's actually a play out of Dallas's book, and you're just flipping it on the other side of the ball. So in the league this day and age where teams want to be to launch the ball all over the field, it's a pass happy league. You can't go wrong with it, and I think Micah Parsons can really help that defense. You know, Micah Parsons has potential to be an All Pro at the end of the day. Let's not sleep on that because from most people's aspects, if it wasn't for these quarterbacks and these receiver needy teams in the top 10, Micah Parsons would have been a top 10 lock, even top 5, you know, in any other draft class. So, hey, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with it. I like it. I really do. You're right. There's not a lot of the people who Philly wanted on their list. They went real quick. They went real quick from 5 to 7. All 3 receivers were gone.
Yeah. And I just
So
want to say one thing too. Like I am a firm believer, and I do think this has proven to be true throughout history. It is better to have an effective pass rush more so than a secondary because one can mask
absolutely,
the other. You can have a great secondary, but if your pass rush is bad, it doesn't matter. This is the
absolutely,
NFL. Guys are gonna get open. If you have an elite pass rush, you don't need elite secondary. You don't need good guys in the secondary. You can have replacement level guys in that secondary that are playing behind that pass rush, and it accelerates the clock, and they don't have to
yeah,
cover as much. And it
yeah.
lets you do a lot of interesting things. So, of course, they need help everywhere at every single position. They suck, but yeah, I mean, Michael Parsons is probably the best player
Hey,
available.
yeah. Hey, I know how we feel about Pro Football Focus, but hey, Ronald Darby was ranked one of the best corners in football last year,
Yeah,
and he's not by far. He's not one of the best corners. He's an average corner at best, but he was ranked one of the best corners in football because hey, when I don't have to cover as long, and when you have Chase Young and Montez Sweat in the quarterback's lap within the matter of seconds, hey, I don't have to cover as long. I look fantastic. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, a pass rush, pressure bursts pipes. Pressure means more to me than sacks. Let's be quite honest. We saw it in the Super Bowl what a pass rush really does to a quarterback. You know, so hey, you are absolutely right. You can't go wrong. I like it, but hey, we're going to go pass it on to our resident Charger and pass it on to the Los Angeles Superchargers GM Shots.
Yeah, so I mean, the Chargers are absolutely thrilled how the draft went. They're smiling right now. You know, we're fist pumping, we're clapping. Rashawn Slater, easiest pick of the draft. He'll come and play left tackle. There's been some people that think he might not be able to stay at tackle, but I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, he was really good in college. He was blocking Chase Young, so I mean, he'll be fine at left tackle. Protect King Herbert, and yeah, not much to say. Easy pick, and we need a left tackle desperately, so just
Yeah,
perfect fit.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely is the perfect pick.
Oh, and also because we talked about the Sewell, so I would move up. I think we would think about moving up for Sewell, like with Dallas maybe or New York or whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't. It just depends on the level. It just depends on what the compensation would be. I don't think we'd give up a future first.
Nah,
So I mean, it just depends what they'd be asking for.
it'd be 3 picks. If they were asking for a future first or 3 picks, that's just crazy. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, if they asked for
especially
maybe
with
a
Slater on
second,
the board too. That's my own thing.
yeah, if they ask for a second or a third, yeah, you pull the trigger. You know, pull the trigger because of
Mm-hmm.
the upside for Sewell is tremendous. Like it's one of those. There's no such thing as a lock, you know, for a draft pick. However, that's as close as you get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like last year. There's no such thing as a lock, but Chase Young was as close as you got. You know, so yeah. Hey, I think if the Chargers, you can't go wrong with Slater. You can't go wrong with the trade up for Sewell. But you guys they have their franchise quarterback. They have one of the best receivers in football on their team. The Chargers, the defense, they were just, let's be honest. The Chargers were a team that should have been in the playoffs, but they got in their own way. The Chargers blew so many leads. It was, I thought they were wearing black and red at one point. So
we're the Falcons of the way. We're ATL West.
Hey,
We've been over this.
yeah, so it's one of those things that, hey, if the Chargers put it together, as crazy as it sounds, I think the Chargers
And
will win that division.
also, our best player hasn't played. Like, he didn't play one game last year. So
Bosa?
Derwin James.
Derwin James. Oh, yeah, that too. So, I mean, that's, like I said, as crazy as it sounds, I have the Los Angeles Chargers winning that division.
I like your energy right there. We're taking that energy to the book.
So, hey, I've
That's
already I've already locked it in on FanDuel. It's locked. It's locked.
I'm locking
in.
mine in soon.
So, but I'm going to pass it on to this team. Has potential. It all rides on their quarterback play, but I'm passing it on to Gabe for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and kind of like what Shots was saying with the Chargers, Vikings are very ecstatic with how this draft has panned out. Of course, they're coming in big need is tackle, right? We're trying to get bigger up there, trying to get better in pass protection. Run game is a strong suit, but we want to set up the play action. And it really is that two-way race. After Sewell, you got, Christian Darrisaw of Virginia Tech, and you got Slater that obviously just got taken Northwestern. I actually am fairly high on Darrisaw. I think from a performance standpoint, and I know we just got to see him play. We didn't really get to see Slater play this last year. Obviously opted out, but Darrisaw put on a clinic this year. He was one of the best, if not the best, tackle in the nation from a actual performance standpoint. He didn't allow a single sack all year. Didn't allow much pressures. Didn't allow a single hit even. Was one of the most dominant tackles I think throughout the entire country. Has a very impressive athletic profile, really quick feet, has excellent pass sets. I think he will fit in just incredibly well with the Vikings. And it's really a home run regardless, whether it's Slater or Darrisaw. No need to really get greedy and trade up for Sewell when you have these two studs. This is a deep offensive tackle class. Yeah. And you kind of get pick of the litter here. And so they got Slater, so, Vikings take Darrisaw. And who knows, maybe they have Darrisaw rated as their number one tackle. I'm not entirely sure. But they're definitely ecstatic to get Darrisaw here. Very, very, very physical guy. 6'5", big, and very athletic. He really reminds me a lot of Jason Peters.
Yeah, I agree. Now part of me is hurt on the inside because you stole my pick.
Yeah.
So I thought, Darrisaw is one person I thought I felt was going to fall far enough. And I kind of was on the fence about making that the pick, but after the Ereck Flowers trade, it kind of stamped it in my mind that was going to be the pick. But yeah, you're right. Darrisaw is somebody who has that potential. I personally think Darrisaw is the second best tackle in the class. At least pure tackle standpoint. Rashawn Slater, I think he can be. I think Rashawn Slater, to be honest, is going to be more of a Brandon Sheriff type in the league, which is not a bad thing. Brandon Sheriff is all pro, so I just think that Rashawn Slater is going to be maybe an all pro left guard because he was guarding Chase Young, but we'll see how he goes full force when he's going against people like Joey Bosa in practice. He can only get better, Trent Williams, when he first came in the league, was going against Ryan Kerrigan and Brian Orakpo, which is one of the best pass rushing combinations in the league at one point for a couple of years. So, it's one of those things where like I said, you can't go wrong with Darrisaw. Absolutely not. The Vikings. I think you're right. You could have gone tackle. You could have gone corner, but hey, I love it. I love the pick with Darrisaw at 14. And
And it could be recency bias. Again, Slater didn't play last year, so I'm just
Yeah.
kind of, I obviously remember it's 2019. It was very impressive, but I just think I love the work that Darius put on film last year.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's really it right there. Really.
Absolutely. So now, so we put back on the clock after trading from 8 to 15 the Carolina Panthers.
This is interesting.
I'm very interested to see what happens here at 15.
Jalen?
I'm here. I'm looking.
Oh, okay. Tough pick.
All right. Yeah, this is might have to go tackle here. We might have to reach a little. I'm thinking. Because this one's hard. Why is this so hard?
While you're thinking about that, Brian, what's up, man? Thank you for tuning in.
All right. Y'all already
Time's
took
ticking.
Durso?
Darisaul's
Yep.
gone. He just went in front of you, man.
This is gonna be a reach.
You want me to help you out?
I'm gonna have to take I might have to take Greg Newsom a corner.
Patrick Surtain.
Hey,
Wait, huh?
you can't. Surtain's still on the board.
And Farley.
And
Oh, he
Farley.
is? Oh, yeah. Give me, yeah. They gotta go Surtain. Put him with Dante Jackson.
Yeah. Hey,
Nah,
And
he could've-
bro,
he
their
could've reached
defense
out
is
with
super
him.
young that they all can grow together.
yeah, I like it. Carolina's defense isn't the best. They're young, but they're not the best. And they invested heavily in the defense last year in the draft. So I can definitely see that happening again, especially if they do trade back. Because if they trade back, they're probably going to be missing out on the people that they want, but they'll get more draft capital this year and next year, and they can do more. But it just goes to show, even when your offense struggles, if you invest in your defense, you can still be a playoff team. I have faith in that coaching staff and Matt Rule. He actually, I was pleasantly surprised what Joe Brady did with that defense. I mean that offense, excuse me. And you got to remember, Christian McCaffrey was gone most of the year. Now, granted, they lose Curtis Samuel, but
Yeah.
hey, they can, if all the pieces are there still. Hey, they can do it. DJ Moore's no slouch. Robbie Anderson exploded.
Do not be surprised. Look, do not be surprised if they make the playoffs this year. Do not be surprised.
I wouldn't be. I absolutely wouldn't be. And I think Sam Darnold, quite frankly, you can say what people say what they want. I think Sam Darnold's an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater.
Absolutely.
I think. What?
Ooh, okay. I don't want to take I know you got to get through the rest of this draft, but like that Sam Donald subject for me is like that's a whole other topic in itself. So, like, that's just for me personally. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I don't know. I have a different opinion on him.
Hey, I think he's solid, man. I really think Sam Darnold is solid. I think he got it was just a bad break because he was in New York. New York is somewhere I don't know what.
Look, hardhead. All right.
I'm just
Bro, you have to understand. He was with the Jets with no receivers and Adam Gase as his head coach. Like, how can you develop?
You can't.
There's no developing. Like, you have Adam Gase. Y'all remember that I showed y'all a clip that they had 2 out routes on both sides. 2 out routes in the go route. Like you can't win with that.
You can't, bro.
You
That-
like
that-
you're not winning with that.
I don't understand how he got the. He was a people
Can't
gave
even get
him.
that job.
I don't understand how he got the tag as of an offensive genius. That blew my
I never
mind because
understood.
he was
Yeah,
at
me the
Denver.
same.
But it's because of Peyton Manning. It's because of
Yeah,
Peyton.
yeah, but come on. I
Like
mean, that should have been the main right there. Should have told you everything. That should have been the dead giveaway. You think Adam Gates was really calling the shots in Denver? Let's be serious.
No.
Let's be serious.
People said that Peyton ran what he wanted to run.
Everybody knew that.
Yeah,
Everybody knew that. The only
That's
only
known.
time he probably where there was actually a decent coach that was helping calling the shots was Jim Caldwell, and I think he got a terrible rap in Detroit. I think Detroit really messed up by letting him go. But
Yeah.
that's another story for another day. But yeah, hey, you have Patrick Surtain with the he's the second, right? That's you can't go wrong with that pick.
yeah, it's like
Hopefully he can turn into an all pro like his daddy. His daddy was one of the best receivers of the 2000s. So excuse me, best corners of the 2000s. So hopefully he can turn into that and ball out. Now we have here, which I find whoever is picking for this team, this is a tough pick. Hardhead. The Cardinals are on the clock. What you gonna do?
Oh man. This. Oof. How did I end up with that pick? Dude.
I mean, so here's the kicker. So the Cardinals need offensive line help. Your tackles aren't there. Do you invest in? You still have corners on the board, and they need corner help as well. So, do you invest in those? Are those two positions that you look at and say, I gotta pull the trigger," or what? Or even do you say, "I need a running back"?
Oh man, that's so tough. Oh man, yeah, they take Caleb here. Caleb can go here.
Caleb Farley.
Yeah,
Hey, I like the pick. I mean,
I like it.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things right there. There's some teams in the middle of this draft without trading up. I think they're going to be in trouble. Because a lot of their players who they want aren't going to be there.
yeah. I've been hearing a lot about them, like in a receiver, like to go along with the receivers they already have. But like with the way this board, shake out, I just don't. It's not an option right now. So yeah, I give them Caleb.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely can't go wrong with that. So I like the pick. The thing is, does he stay healthy? I truthfully think he will. I you never want to say something with injury wise is overblown because you never know. Again, you could have Jonathan Allen or you could have Sidney Jones. You never know. So you never want to say injury is overblown.
Or Tech McKinley.
Or who?
Tech with the shoulders.
Yeah, that's true too.
But the main thing that scares me about Caleb, and why I could see him falling out of the first round or just getting picked late in the first, is he's only been playing a position for what, 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. So that kind of reminds me of the Trayvon Diggs situation. It's how high do you take a chance on that risk? With the injuries, of course, and with him switching, he got all the traits, big, fast, physical corner, long, everybody want nowadays. But it's just with the injury history and him playing corner, but for only 2 or 3 years, that would have made me a little hesitant. But I give the Cardinals him right here.
I absolutely like it. Like I said, you can't go wrong with that. Now, since Altitudes isn't here, I will pick for these Las Vegas Raiders. So I I hate to pick this guy here because if I wasn't doing right, I would just go ahead and kind of just pick somebody else and just say forget about it. However, I am going to go here at this pick from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa.
Wow, you just stole my pick.
You know, it's something that the Raiders need linebackers.
Wow,
You
I'm
know,
stunned.
they were going to take they had Raekwon McMillan. McMillan is no longer there. They need Koromoa. It's like, where do you put him? Do you put him at he's that hybrid of a safety and linebacker. He's your Thomas Davis type of player. So it's kind of, where do you go? I think it's the perfect pick for him. He has the speed to go sideline to
He's more than
sideline.
Thomas Davis.
Yeah, but
He
that's
guards the slot.
hey, like I
He's the
said,
best linebacker.
like I said, it's a great pick. He can go sideline to sideline, and he has big hit ability. So the Raiders get a Raider type of linebacker. So, and it's going to be Owusu Koromoa.
Well, Miami front office is rattled right now because we had our pick sent in and it just got taken.
So yeah, you cannot go wrong with that. So that was kind of solid, easy pick, and I'm going to pass it on to the Miami Dolphins GM, Mr. Shots.
Yeah, so Miami's rattled right now because we were going to take Koromoa, and he would have fit kind of what they need, kind of like a hybrid linebacker safety combo, which their safeties aren't very good, so he would have helped them out in coverage. But we're going to switch it up then. We're gonna go. Man, I'm narrow. It's gonna be a defensive player for sure. I just don't know which one. I'm deciding. We're rattled because, like I said, our pick got taken. I'm probably gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Davis from Kentucky, Jamin Davis from Kentucky.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's kind of like a. There's been medical questions with him too, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if there's more on that, then probably he wouldn't go here regardless. But he didn't play last year, so we haven't really seen him. So I don't know if like the health thing is a concern, but when he's on the field, I mean, he's been great. Kind of like a versatile linebacker. He could pass rush, he could run stop. So I mean, I think Miami just needs some versatile guys. They already got a pretty great defense, but I think they'll get a defensive guy here regardless. So I think there's a lot of options on the board for them too.
Yeah, I like that pick. Some people have Jamin. I've seen him go as high as middle first round, late first round to middle second round. So
yeah,
but again, it all depends on the front office, because you have to think some people have Justin Fields as a 5th round pick, some have him as a first, some have him as a second. So it all depends on the front office. I think that's a good pick. I don't think you can go wrong there. But you saved Washington, because you had Washington worried of what you were going to do there. Now, it says I am playing GM for the reigning, defending, undisputed NFC East champion Washington football team. At number
6
19,
and 10 bombs.
Oh, 6 and 10.
at number 19, in the first round, the Washington football team selects linebacker Zaven Collins out of Tulsa.
That was my other thing.
I here, you couldn't go wrong. This is the thing. This is the reason I wanted Koromoa. If he falls, would have took him more? Yeah, I would have took him. However, there has been a lot of talks for Landon Collins to be moved to linebacker, and more likely than not, it's going to happen. So it just makes sense, because Landon Collins is going to be more of that. He's not going to play. He's not going to be able to play middle, so he's going to be on either that left or right outside linebacker position, and you get Zayvon Collins, you put him, and you move him to the middle linebacker.
To your middle.
Yeah, and at what better coaches to have to coach you up than Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, two coaches who played that linebacker position. Ron Rivera has been looking for his Luke Kuechly since he's come to DC, who can be that stud linebacker. Not saying Zayvon Collins is going to be Luke Kuechly. What I am saying is he's looking for that guy who he can just say, I need you to run my defense. And I think he's going to rely on Zayvon Collins to do that. And the pick at 19 is Zayvon Collins, and you can lock it in. So, now with
I like it.
Yeah. So with that, I pass it on to, God bless him because he has picked for the best. But I'm gonna pass it on to Jalen.
Jalen?
Jalen, what's up, man?
Oh, I'm talking. I'm on mute. My fault. But like this team is funny, and considering the fact that we know they can't hold Allen Robinson hostage forever, I'm gonna take Rashad Bateman. I'm gonna take Rashad Bateman at 20.
They're holding that man hostage.
I love it. I love that pick, and you're right. I don't know. This is me personally. I don't know what the Bears were thinking franchising that man. You're basically wasting money where you're going to get nothing for that man, where you could have gone ahead and traded that man and walked away with something, but yet you say no, and then you turn around.
All they're doing is beefing his pockets up, and then he's gonna go get a bigger deal with someone else.
Then you turn around and you don't even talk to the man for a long-term contract. So right there, you're telling me, well, shit, they don't want me, and then you franchise them. What are you doing? It doesn't make sense. But hey, they have to do something at.
And remember, they got Andy Dalton at quarterback.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Andy Dalton is the starting quarterback, and then that is locked in stone. That there's no quarterback they're going to draft that's going to overtake
2021, and Jalen Hurts can't be trusted to starter by Andy Dalton.
Yeah, imagine Andy Dalton and Cam Newton as starting quarterbacks in 2021. Who would have thought? But
now for this team, I thought about trading up, but I don't see no team wanting to take this pick at 20.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of stuck with it.
Yeah,
So the only team I can see is the Panthers, but I don't think they'll go that far back.
Nah, and I like the pick. Bateman is very versatile, and I think Bateman can be a true number one in the league. So, and honestly, you could argue that Bateman is a better receiver, will be an overall better receiver than Waddle in the league. You could argue that. So, yeah, I like the pick.
It's good, solid route running, good ball skills.
Yeah.
Like he can he catches everything. Like so,
Absolutely.
I think he'll be good for the Bears when they get rid of Allen Robinson.
I agree, 100% agree. Now, I have the pleasure of picking for a team that I think can make a run next year. And that's the Indianapolis Colts. And I think Carson Wentz is going to have a career resurgence. As crazy as people might think that is, I think Wentz was getting destroyed in Philly. That line was terrible. His weapons were awful. Ertz was a top 5 tight end in the league at one time, and I don't know what happened to him. Goddard was on his way as one of the best tight ends in the league, and I don't know what happened. So, yeah, he has weapons in Indianapolis still, and let's just make that defense better. The one thing that Indianapolis has been missing for years, and they've been craving it. They have been salivating for this since the days of Dwight Freeney and Rashawn Mathis. We are going, as for our edge defender, who can be that guy and who has honestly, some people have him as a top 10. We're going Kwity Paye. We're going to Kwity Paye.
Good pick.
It's an app. I think that's the perfect pick for the Colts. You can't go wrong if he's on the board when they pick. They better be running up there with that card saying, "This is our guy."
Would you, Dwayne? Would you consider Kadarius Toney right here?
I thought about that, but I really think at the end of the day, they, as good as that defense is, they need to be better. And I think the pass rusher is going to supersede the need to draft a receiver right there. I do like Tony. Especially out of Florida, he was very productive. But I think Kwity Paye is the guy that they need to give them some edge because you have Buckner inside, but the goal is to not have your linemen get double teamed.
Yeah,
that's the goal. Yeah, can you really do double teams on Washington all game? No, you can't. So the goal is to not allow that, to give your receivers one-on-one options, and Kwity Paye gives you that opportunity to do that. I have the pleasure of making a back-to-back picks, and I have the Titans as well. And this Titans pick, I'm not going to lie, both the picks who I had penciled in, they were stolen from me. But that's the name of the game. You got to work with what you got. And my picks that I had were Caleb Farley and Rashad Bateman were the two picks that I had for the Titans because, you have A.J. Brown, but yes, you still need receiver help because you lost Corey Davis. And this can go to a couple ways because my top needs for the Titans were receiver, corner, tackle, edge, tight end, and you can also probably pencil in there around number 6 is safety. However, I think right here to get that need for a receiver that you can get, so you have the best run game. You have to get that pass game going on the same level, and I think right here is where you go with Tony. I think right here is where the Titans pull the trigger, and they replace Corey Davis, because if you do not replace Corey Davis, that offense is going to get one-dimensional quick because teams will just stack the box because they don't have another option on the other side of the ball. So I see Kadarius Toney going right here at 22 with the Tennessee Titans.
I like it.
Now, with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to GM Gabe as him and Celia make the pick for the New York Jets.
Yeah, and so I think there's a couple different directions they can go in. I definitely think corner is the pick here for sure. You want to try to, and again, free agency might play a factor in who they pick here if Sherman does indeed sign with them. I do think he's going to be looking for a heavy zone corner that can fit in, high intelligence, good ball skills. If Sherman does go there, I think Greg Newsome is the pick. I think Greg Newsome has very clean footwork, very clean technique, high intelligence from the cornerback position out of Northwestern. Can slot right in there. Good size as well. He's going to understand and be able to hop right in there and play good ball right away. If they don't get Sherman in free agency, which would be kind of weird, I actually think Asante Samuel Jr. would fit very nicely. Again, undersized, not ideal size, but just you don't really generally see a player that has a father that was in the league and matches his profile.
No.
Asante Samuel Jr. actually literally plays just like his dad. He legitimately has the exact same skill set.
Yes, he does.
A phenomenal instinct for the ball, excellent awareness, situational awareness, not just as far as where the ball is at, but where the guy he's guarding is. Even in a zone, you're always guarding somebody. And we see him vacate zone sometime and make really incredible plays. So I think that he will be an excellent ball hawk, excellent addition to the Jets secondary. So this pick will really just hinge on if they can get another corner free agency. I think Newsom probably more often than not will be the pick just because I think he is a little bit more well prepared, a little bit better size. So I'll go with Newsom, but I really would not be surprised to see Samuel get picked there.
Yeah. Hey, I love the pick. I absolutely love the pick. Yeah, like I said, you can't go wrong with that, especially with Newsom on the board. I love it. I really do, and I think Newsom has at the very least he has Pro Bowl potential. I think that's the ceiling. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I love the pick. They have been craving for their star corner since the days of Darrelle Revis. So yeah, the New York Jets go with Newsom, and we keep it with you, and you get to change hats and put on that use it and start swinging that terrible towel because the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock.
And I need to put my hard hat on because, by God, this team's offensive line is absolute dog shit. And they need to get some dudes up front to, get this shit going. And I would not be surprised if they take running back. I think it would be incredibly irresponsible to do that.
Agreed.
And they will pick running back. I'm not sure if it's first round or second. They will take one. It doesn't make sense to take the running back first, though. You need an offensive line. To take the running back without the offensive line, it would prove not fruitful. And we saw that last year, how a very effective run game from a schematic standpoint faltered because the O-line was so bad.
Yeah.
And I think the solution to this is Tevin Jenkins out of OSU. The guy is an absolute fucking animal in the run game. They want to run the ball. They want to run the ball. Big Ben is 1,000 years old. His arm is fucking dead. We can't have Big Ben throwing the ball 50 times a game. It's not effective football. That is a Super Bowl caliber roster. They need better quarterback play. The best way to get good quarterback play out of Big Ben is to limit the amount of times he's throwing. Yeah. I don't want to see 50 attempts. I need to run the ball effectively. They'll ideally get a running back in the second round. Maybe it's Etney, maybe it's Najee. Regardless, whoever they get, you want to put right behind Tevin Jenkins. The dude is an absolute savage in the run game. Huge guy in the Big 12. Absolutely, man. 6'6", like 330 pounds. He's a beast. And he just puts dudes the fuck down.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. And you're right. The Steelers, if the Steelers go any position other than offensive line, it is being very you're neglecting. It's negligence. That team looked so good for the first 10 weeks of the season. And as the weeks got on, they got closer and closer to losing until finally some team out of DC in prime time got it done. So yeah, they have to. Another pick you can't go wrong because he's still on the board is Tucker from
USC.
From USC.
And yeah, they could go a lot of different directions with this. I'm just going. I do view.
I like it.
I do view Tevin as the best run blocker. Again, that's just the angle I'm looking at. But they could go a lot of different directions. They could go Little from Stanford, Tucker from USC. They could go fucking, obviously Tevin.
But Jenkins is the type of tackle that Pittsburgh is used to. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with you because that's the tackle that Pittsburgh is used to. They're used to that punch you in the mouth, power blocking tackle. Because what does Pittsburgh really want to do? They want to run the ball down your throat. That is Pittsburgh's MO. That was Pittsburgh's MO with Jerome Bettis, then with Willie Parker, then with Mendenhall for that one goofy year. Then you turn around and you have Le'Veon Bell. That's the MO. Is to run the ball down your throat and say, "I dare you to stop me." So Pittsburgh's trying to get back with that because they were doing that with James Conner and that line fell apart. So yeah, and especially since they lost Pouncey, you can't go wrong. I love the pick, but yeah. So now I get to put my GM hat back on and pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars at 25. there's a lot of different directions Jacksonville can go with this pick. Do they want to invest in their offensive line? Do they need to invest in their defense? I truly think they need to invest in their defense. It's more particular, you've gotten your corners. Now let's invest with your safeties. And the player I'm going with here is none other than Trayvon Moehrig from TCU, which I think is a steal of a pick at here at 25, because he could have easily gone between 17 and 24 and nobody would have batted an eye. So I'm going to go ahead and take him here with the Jaguars. I think he's very versatile. I think he'll be more of a strong than free. But again, it's something that Jacksonville needs to address. And what better coach to go with than the coach that wins everywhere he goes, with Urban Meyer.
Who got picked at 24?
24 was Tevin Jenkins.
Okay, that's right.
So with that being said, if nobody has any if there's no omissions with that pick,
that's a steal for them.
We're going to move it right along to the dog pound and go with and he is down with the Brown, Mr. Gabe, aka Stevie Bop.
Yeah, interesting spot. I've been high on the Browns for a couple years now. I do actually view this team as Super Bowl contenders. I do view them in the AFC Championship this next coming season. I do like the addition of Jadeveon Clowney at a discount. I think they're ready. They're primed to compete. There's just a couple little tweaks they need to make that I think can take them to the next level. One of them, obviously, getting Odell back healthy. But I'm really looking to either buff up the receiving core or to buff up the interior D-line. And you might be saying, well, you already have a good front seven. You can never have a good enough front seven. You always want guys that can rotate in and be effective. Clowney, again, he's not really the same player he was from explosive standpoint, and we don't know where his health's at. And he's never been like an elite pass rusher. I think, is a very elite athlete, and he's an elite run defender. But he does well on stunts. He does a great job to get in, but he doesn't really have the bend to finish plays. So I'm actually looking to take Christian Barmore here. I think it's a absolute steal. I know that he's disappeared sometimes. I know that he hasn't been the greatest pass rusher at times, but from an interior defensive line standpoint, I think Barmore, again, that Bama pedigree, Bama weight room, this guy's going to come in and
he was crazy in the playoffs.
Crazy in the playoffs. Dominated the playoffs. I guess, again, good offensive lines. Like, those are not shitters. I know he fucking didn't do nothing against Florida, but they got the ball out fast. It is what it is. Barmore, I think it's a really good landing spot in there. He gets to play on a beefed up defensive line, gets to play with the likes of, obviously, as you know, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Sheldon. Like, they're just stacked. And that's, if, for example, Jeremiah was here, I would pick Jeremiah because I think that's a great need for them as well. I do view Jeremiah as one of the best off-ball coverage backers I've seen maybe in 10 plus years. But he's not here, so I'm taking Barmore. But I wouldn't hate a swing at the bat at receiver either. Terrence Marshall comes to mind. Good size body, could come in there. A good relationship with Odell, obviously LSU connection. Jarvis would make sense, but I think Barmore is the pick here. It's just a supreme steal at this.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Here's the one thing that you always want for your defensive linemen is you really want to see them more on one-on-ones in the NFL than they can work their way if they get double teamed to teach them how to beat that. Whereas teams automatically key in, like teams, hey, when we're playing the Browns, who do we really have to worry about on that defensive line? Myles Garrett. You look at teams and say, all right, this is the guy we circle and say, let's stop him and make everybody else beat us. And so he's going to face a lot of, if that is the pick, he's facing a lot of one-on-ones. And I think all you have to do, if you can create pressure from the inside, that right there that's something that can't be equated, because pressure and from the inside, it will destroy an entire play. And I think he has the potential to carry on the streak of Bama D tackles to come and take and make an impact in the league. So I love the pick at 26 for the Browns of Barmore, and we move on to the team. This team right here, they're right on the cusp, but it's what are they doing? Here's the thing you have to ask: what is going to happen with this offense? On the clock is the Baltimore Ravens at 27. So I think that is shots. Go ahead and take it over, sir.
Yeah, so they got 27 and they got 31
He
for
said
the
who's
Orlando
trying to
Browns.
trade in the chat.
Yeah, I seen. I don't know what he's talking about. So that we have 27 and 31. We're sitting here. There's two. It's going to be a combination of two or three things. It's going to be either receiver, interior lineman, and a pass rusher. They're getting two of those three. I don't know exactly which ones. Deeds doesn't think they're getting a receiver. The Ravens fan. He doesn't think they're getting a receiver, and I wouldn't be shocked. But for this first Ravens pick, I'm going to go Azeez Ojulari from Georgia, a pass rusher. They just lost Judon, so I think that's just. I think it's a Ravens type. I feel like it's a really Ravens. They usually stick to what they do. They don't usually go off script too much. So I think he's just he's a beast. He's kind of versatile, but I mean he's really just going to be like mainly a pass rusher for them.
Yeah.
So I think it's an easy fit, and I think he just fits the Ravens.
Yeah, he's a freak athlete. The guy Azeez is a freak athlete, and what better team to mold a freak athlete than the Baltimore Ravens? I love that pick, and you're right. They do need to replace Matt Judon. They've truly been missing that true threat because who was there prior to that? Didn't they lose somebody to the Packers a couple years ago?
Za'Darius.
Yeah,
Za'Darius.
Za'Darius.
I don't know how I'm missing out on Za'Darius Smith, but yeah, they're missing that. So hey, it's
they got the interior pressure.
They do, and so you got to put it together outside as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I love the pick. You can't go wrong. What do you think about your Georgia boy there, Hardhead? Oh, I gotta put him back in. This boy right here. Yeah, Georgia boy, Hardhead. What do you think about your Georgia boy, man?
I had said, I don't know if y'all could hear me. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, that's exactly who. Like, since you said Baltimore Ravens, that's the first one that popped in my head. So I always thought that was a good fit for them.
Absolutely. So I think that is probably the perfect pick. I think in that situation, if the only other position that makes sense at that position is at that point it's going to be receiver. If it's not receiver, then Baltimore if it's not Ojulari and it's not receiver, they don't care about Lamar Jackson. So with that being said, we got the who that said they're gonna beat them Saints on the board, and we have the resident NFC South fellow down there, Hardhead. What are these Saints going to do?
Now, if I could, I would give them a lump of coal. Like, I'm just call it a day. That's what I would do. But I'm gonna go with the son of one of my most favorite. Like, I love his dad. Like, I thought his dad was just one of, if not the best zone corner I've ever seen personally in my life. And I'm gonna give them Asante Samuel Jr.
Didn't he get picked?
Nah,
No,
I
he
said
did
that.
not.
I said
Okay.
the Jets would
No, he didn't.
definitely consider it, especially
Oh,
if
that's
Sherman
a-
doesn't go there.
Great pick there.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
I love
pick.
the pick. I love this pick as well.
Because you don't know what's happening with Lattimore. So it's a fantastic pick, and the Saints have so many questions. This is a team that they can still make a run. I still think this is a playoff team, but they have so many questions to answer. You know, they are in need of a pass rusher now because they had a silent, I guess you can say, silently good one in Trey Hendrickson. And they also lost Sheldon Rankins. So you could, and so hopefully, if they do go corner, which I think that is a strong possibility because of everything that's going on with Lattimore, that's the best one to pick. And yeah, so the Saints, this is the 1 year that you can go in questioning what you're going to get from the Saints. I think, yes, I still think they're a playoff team, but still there are a lot of questions to answer on that football team. So
Can I ask? Well, hold on. Just go ahead. I forgot. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was about to ask, like, could y'all just ask everybody else's opinion? Do y'all think that they would take a gamble on either Trask or that other quarterback, I think from Stanford, like at the end of the first round, like to just come in and compete with Jameson?
Oh, Davis Mills or Kellen Mond.
I can now. Hell, hey, no. If they take Kellen Mond in the first
Chris
round,
Sims says Kellen Mond's the third best quarterback, fourth best quarterback.
listen, we
I'm
not
trolling.
listen to
I'm
Chris Sims.
trolling. I'm trolling.
Yeah,
Oh.
you definitely
No,
trolling.
he said that though, but I don't. I don't agree. No,
I
he
can
said
see,
that, but I don't agree.
I don't think this is my thing. I think Davis Mills needed another year. However, teams value him. So yeah, I could see that he be that Lamar Jackson type pick or the pick that kind of shocked you that he went where he was, or it depends on how you felt about Lamar coming out. You know, so some people viewed Lamar as second round, a day two pick. So yeah, I think he can be that pick and go right there at the towards the end of the first round. So that is a possibility, especially if you don't think Jameis Winston's the answer. So, but we have a team on the clock that normally when they get to the first round they lose all type of sense when it comes to drafting. I don't understand why, but they're still one of the best teams in football. And it is the Cheeseheads out of Wisconsin, the Green Bay Packers, and picking for the Packers is going to be Bashes himself. Go ahead and take over, Jalen.
All right, yeah, they lose like common sense when they draft, but I'm not going to lose common sense, and we are going to take. I just had it right here. Where did my notes go? We are going to take Elijah Moore
Wow.
out of Ole Miss. Great slot.
But their front office, they don't like Rodgers.
Wait. We're taking Kadarius Toney. We're taking Kadarius
He's
Toney.
gone.
He's gone. He's gone. He went to
He's
22.
gone? All right, so
Titans.
yeah, Elijah Moore. All right, yeah, so I'm taking Elijah Moore. Great slot receiver. Great slot receiver. That's what Green Bay needs, and that's what I'm gonna give him. Is a great slot receiver. He's quick. He got quick feet, and Green Bay needs a receiver. They can't keep avoiding it, so we're gonna go Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I like it. You're absolutely right. Outside of Devontae Adams, which you knew he was still getting the ball, yet he still found a way to get open and catch the damn thing. There is nobody there that says, "Wow, they got that guy." So yeah, I absolutely agree. They this is a team again that this is the pick that makes sense, but the Packers don't tend to do what makes sense. Whereas they drafted Jordan Love in the first round last year. When you have Aaron Rodgers sitting there, as a matter of fact, only one player for the Packers played more than 30 snaps as one of their rookies played more than 30 snaps. And that was AJ Dillon. That is not building for the future. That's not successful football when it comes to the future. So I truly believe the Packers must be all in now and hope for the best in the future. But they have to. You're right. They have to address.
They have no choice now. They have no choice.
Yeah, because I truly believe if they don't do right this year, Aaron Rodgers is gone. But with that being said, we kick it back to our Los Angeles Supercharger fan. that boy shots. The Bills are on the clock.
Roster. I was actually looking at the Bills roster the other day, and like if you look, they're really one of the most balanced rosters I think in the league. Like they really don't have too many weak spots,
Right.
and probably another pass rusher. So I'm gonna go Elijah Vera Tucker. He's the guy that some people think is going. I mean, are like really good. They're just a bunch of like average to below average guys, and I don't think any of them are under contract long. So
I like
on
it.
interior. So
That's a steal to me. That right there, Vera Tucker right there is a steal. That's someone who people have in the normally probably right in the middle of the draft, and for him to fall basically all the way towards the end of the first round, that's an absolute steal. I love the pick, and hey, the Bills have it together to where they can make a run. I think even quite frankly, last year the Bills in the playoffs beat themselves. They made a lot of boneheaded moves where they could have easily moved on in the playoffs. So yeah, you're right. That's a very balanced roster, and they are there to succeed for the future. And Vera Tucker I think can come in and start immediately for that team. But moving on, this was Kansas City. Now back on the clock are the Baltimore Ravens.
he's a pass rusher, interior O line, and receiver. So I think if Tucker was here, which he just got picked the pick before, the Ravens would really consider it over receiver. But I'm gonna definitely go receiver. We got to get Lamar some help. And Marshall from LSU.
Who was the pick? Your phone broke up.
Can you hear me?
It sounds like you're far away.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Terrace Marshall, LSU receiver. Get Lamar some help. He's a bigger. So you got Hollywood. You brought in Sammy Watkins, which he's probably not a long-term option. So you really don't have any receivers besides Hollywood, and Hollywood's already not the greatest. I mean, Hollywood's Hollywood. Like he's good, but you need a big target. I think Marshall's 6'3", 6'4". He was a big part of LSU the 1 year when they had the good offense. So I just think you need a big guy, a big target for Lamar on the outside because, they need some playmakers. He can't just be Lamar run. It's proven that Lamar running, it's just not going to work all the time. So
Absolutely.
you got to get him some help.
I agree 100%. I like the pick. This is a very deep class at wide receiver. So, a lot of these players who may fall in the second round or should have been first round picks will probably be available day 2. So you can't go wrong. I love the pick. Baltimore finally gets their help, and hopefully they can end that streak of drafting pretty bad receivers and get their star. But to pass it along to the final pick of the first round, number 32, we pass it to our resident ATLian, to Hardhead, to wrap it up for us at number 32 for the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, so next to that Cardinals pick, this pick was probably like the hardest for me because I was trying to think like, where do they need help? But they pretty much kept their team like intact, re-signed everybody.
Yeah,
they got a quarterback, running back, tight ends, wide receivers, D-line, linebackers, secondary. So personally, I'm not going to make a pick for them because I really think that they're going to trade out of this pick to one of them teams at the top of the second round that might want to come up for a ETN or a Najee Harris and don't necessarily want to take the chance on somebody else, jumping in the following day. So I got them trading out, bro.
Yeah, I can see that happening. But the one thing I can see them doing as well, which this pick, because I have a pick in mind for them, and the one thing, and I had listened to Bucky Brooks say this earlier. He was speaking on JPP. JPP is more likely out of there next year, and so why not get your pass rusher to sit behind JPP and for a year, and go with Gregory Rousseau out of Miami.
Yeah, that would be okay. Yeah,
I love
that
that
would be
pick.
like it would.
So that right there, I think would be.
I think they get another edge rusher too.
Yeah,
They love having a lot of guys.
absolutely.
That's like a luxury
Absolutely.
pick for them, man.
Yeah.
It is because that Tampa Bay roster is so complete, and you
Do
can
you
say
guys think
whatever.
they consider a quarterback?
I don't at 32. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, it is possible.
But here's the thing: does Tom Brady say, "Hey, go get this dude at the end of the first round"? Do they really ask for Tom Brady's? Because
What about Najee Harris or Travis Etienne?
yeah, those. Well, no, because they have Ronald
They have
Jones.
Burnett. They have Jones. Yes, that's right. That's right. They don't.
Yeah, I think pass rusher, or if they
I
do
agree.
think there's a quarterback for the future there, they
I was
go
just
with that.
throwing it out there.
Yeah, so
It's a luxury pick, though. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they made like a splash pick though either.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
You got the roster.
similar to the same way like the Chiefs last year when they got Clyde Edwards.
Yeah.
It's just like make the rich richer, basically.
Yeah.
I think this whole first round is gone pretty good. So just to recap, we have the Jags take Lawrence, Jets 2 with Wilson. We have the 49ers taking Mac Jones. The Falcons get even richer on offense and leaving the defense poor and take Kyle Pitts. We have the Bengals with Chase. Here comes our run with receivers. We have Chase, Waddle, and Smith going to the Bengals, Dolphins, and Lions, respectively. We have a run on quarterbacks for 2 picks with the Patriots and Broncos taking Fields and Lance, respectively. Cowboys get their corner to their lockdown corner of the future. And for Anthony's sake, he hopes that he blacks out half of the screen with J.C. Horn. Follow up, the Giants get a steal with all-pro caliber potential in Penei Sewell at 11. Micah Parsons, who has all-pro potential as well, falls to the Eagles at 12. The Chargers, they go tackle to protect Justin Herbert, which I think is also a fantastic pick. The Vikings, they better that offensive line. I think you could not go wrong with this pick. They go Christian Darrisaw at 14. The Panthers turn around and get their corner to help with that defense with the Dante Jackson on the other side, and they bring in Patrick Surtain II. Then you have the Cardinals, and they take the risk and grab Farley. And they're because they lose Pat P. So what better guy to bring him in than Farley? The Raiders, they have that need at linebacker position, and they go get Koromora at pick 17, breaking the hearts of Washington and Miami fans everywhere. But the Dolphins, you can't be upset because they can't turn around and take Jamin Davis, who I know is on the radar of Washington. So that's a great pick as well. Washington says, "Hey, you might have pissed me off with the last 2 picks, but I'm going to take Zaven Collins because that's going to be my star. I feel like he has the potential to be my guy." The Bears try to replace Allen Robinson, hopefully for next year, and they get Rashad Bateman. The Colts looking for their next Dwight Freeney or Rashawn Mathis, and they take Kwity Paye. The Titans need to replace that receiver because they lost Corey Davis, and also another person they lost is Adam Humphries. They can't forget about that. And they go Kadarius Toney. Come around with the Jets. The Jets go ahead and answer their question at corner as well. And with what better guy than a defensive-minded coach to take Newsome off the board? Perfect answer at corner for them. And you come around the Steelers. They're trying to get nasty with the steel curtain, get back to that ground and pound game. And what better way to do that than to improve that offensive line and take Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State? It he is quote unquote a hog molly. He is a bruiser. He is going to punch you in the mouth and keep punching you until you're down. And even when you're down, he's still going to punch you. So that's a great pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Jaguars, they improve that secondary. They go ahead and take that corner and their safety, and they go with Trevon Moehrig. It's a need. It's probably going to be a strong, but it's still a need nonetheless. A great pick for the Jaguars. A couple years ago, they had what's Buddy's name out of I was in love with this dude too. The corner that they took at late round pick.
Was it
Cyprien, Jonathan Cyprien. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I thought he was going to be the answer, and he turned out not to be. The Browns get a little bit of interior help with Barmore, which I think is a luxury pick, but again, a team that I use is going to be Washington. Washington last year had players, in all honesty, every starter on that front line would start for any other team. And then on the back end, Ryan Kerrigan, and you had Matt Ioannidis. Matt Ioannidis would probably start for every other team in this league too. So you cannot have too many defensive linemen. There's no such thing. Then the Ravens get a little get their pass rushing help because they've lost a couple of pass rushers over the last 2 years, and they finally go ahead and address that with Azeez Ojulari. Great pick for them. The Saints, they have questions with their secondary, and they go with an All-Pro son and Asante Samuel Jr. Again, he has a similar build to his father. You can't beat it. It's a fantastic pick, and we have this Packers team. They never do right, but this is the right pick. They finally addressed that receiver position, which they should have done last year, and they get Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. Great pick. The Bills get a steal towards the end just to plug in another guard, which they could use with Vera Tucker. You can't beat that. The Ravens finally get their answer at receiver. Hopefully, this is a team that's been very bad at drafting receivers over the past 20 years. But hopefully they get their answer with Marshall. And the Bucks, with the most luxurious pick of them all, take Gregory Rousseau with the 32nd pick to sit behind JPP and Shaq for a year, and hopefully he can come in and take over the following year. So there you have it. It's wrapped. It's done. It's the first round. Fellas, I appreciate you guys taking the time. I'm 10 minutes over schedule, but it's fine. It is what it is. But this was fun. The real show comes on Thursday. I think I can speak for all of us to say we can't wait.
Can't wait for the Giants to pick Jason Miller.
As T.O. likes to say, get your popcorn ready. Hey man.
Hey,
what's up?
I did have a question before you close everything out. This is for everybody, right? So you know how every team has their own draft board. They rate, like you said with Justin Fields. You said somebody might have him in the 5th round, somebody might have him in the 3rd, somebody might have him rated top 10, top 5, whatever, right? How do you determine if everybody, has the right to have their own opinion of different players? How do you determine what's really a reach and what's not?
I mean, here's the thing. Most teams have a certified consensus of this guy does not belong. It comes to the scouts. This is your job. Your job is to make sure the number one in the first round you hit. That should be the pick where, hey, this is a lock for us. That we're good. You make your money later on. If a scout is so just stupidly wrong on a player consistently, that guy's fired. That guy's fired. So yeah, I don't think they can get this pick wrong. I think it's the right pick for. I think people can have their boards the way they do. I don't think they're too far. I don't think they're too far off. I think there's just certain teams that probably view players a certain way, but for the most part, every team values players the same way. Especially in that top 10, they pretty much have the same top 10.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, I'm grateful to have you guys on. Glad you guys took 2 hours out of your day to come do this. We will be doing more in the future, and I'll let you guys know. Do you guys have any projects or anything y'all are working on? Want to plug anything like that? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Twitter, SHOTZ_.
Okay.
Follow me. Follow the podcast.
Yeah. Shots and Pops. Yes, most definitely follow that podcast. Give it a listen. Gabe, you got anything?
Nah, watch the NBA 2K League.
I like that.
We'll definitely do that. Absolutely.
Schedule got released today.
Yes, sir. Yes, take a look at the schedule. Support. He couldn't make it today, but Deeds from Heat Check Gaming and my man Shots right here from Brooklyn SGC. Support them. Hey, what they're doing, a lot of people wish they could do. I promise you that. That's money that and we working our 9 to 5, and they hustling half the year, making what we make in a full year, if actually more. Amen. So keep it up. Bashes, you got anything?
Nah, man, I'm good. Just follow the podcast, listen to the podcast, Shots and Pops, man. Great podcast. Watch the 2K League. That's all I got to say right now, man.
Okay. Well,
it was an honor to be here.
I appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. For the people that have been watching, I thank you. We will be bringing you more. Don't forget to like the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and Twitch. Once I get to 100 followers, I'll be doing a giveaway, and then every 100 followers, I'll do another giveaway. But follow the Twitch, All World Sports, the Facebook, All World Sports and Entertainment, and the YouTube channel, All World Sports and Entertainment. Add me on Xbox, Thugnificent, the way it's spelled right there. Just add 2 X's at the end. But other than that, God bless you. Let heaven smile upon you. Draft day is upon us, and we are ready.
Are we coming back draft day for live reaction?
I thought about it, and that's something that we can do.
Oh yeah, that would be
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's absolutely
see how our
something
mock drafts panned out.
Absolutely, that is absolutely something to do.
I will be down for sure.
So hey, look forward to a live stream during the draft. But as I was saying, guys, you guys have a blessed one. Enjoy your night. God bless you. Let heaven smile upon you. Thugger out.